You can now get a 30-day trial to experience The Athletic for free. Visit the link in the description below to try it now.
Hello, welcome back to Tifo IRL. I'm JJ Bull, and in this video, we're going to look at how Liverpool absolutely destroyed Manchester United, largely thanks to the tactical setup by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who should probably have known better. They used a 4-2-3-1, did Man United in this game, but because Fernandes is essentially a striker, and Rashford is basically a striker, and Greenwood's basically a striker, it was a 4-2-4. The problems start to become evident from here on in. Rashford would play in the sort of left side near Alexander-Arnold. Ronaldo would stand up top near defenders, but he's not really trying to tackle, he's just there. Is that enough to press? I don't think so. Fernandes a little bit deeper, but he plays as part of a front two of Ronaldo, largely. He's between a 10 and a second striker, and Greenwood comes up here. There's nothing wrong with playing a front four, really, but it leaves Fred and McTominay with all of this, and basically all of this to look after each. So I'm going to give you all the work they have to do on their own. Now that is too much for a human, it's definitely too much for Fred and McTominay, and it meant that when the ball was going over to one side, Fred would have to come over here, leaving the other completely in the middle on their own. And that would maybe be okay if someone like Greenwood came back to help out, but whenever Greenwood or Rashford did actually do this to come back and help, they didn't really do anything, they were just there without affecting the play. There's a difference between being back and actually trying to do something with the ball or out of possession and win the ball back. Rashford and Greenwood did not do that. Man United are trying to press one of the best teams in the entire world at playing through a press with players who cannot press and do not press. Ronaldo does not do anything out of possession. It's been highlighted recently, and I think we did videos on Tifo IRL as well about it. But he'll stand sort of near here on his left side, just waits for the ball to come to him, doesn't do anything. Fernandes looks quite busy, doesn't tend to win the ball back an awful lot. Rashford doesn't do anything really either. Greenwood has shown in recent weeks, like against Leicester actually as an example, that he doesn't either know the triggers for when he's supposed to go, or how to curve a run to block a pass into Jota or something like that. If you're Greenwood here, and you want to try and stop this ball into Jota, you want to curve your run across to try and stop the ball coming into this sort of bit here. Now, he doesn't do that, he stands near here, and for the first goal that Liverpool score, what happens is Greenwood sort of near this left side, the left side of Liverpool, trying to help out with the press. Wan-Bissaka, I don't know why he does this, pushes all the way up to try and get involved. Jota's pulled out to the wide here. And because he's done that, it means that Lindelof, to kind of keep the shape, comes over here to guard at right back. Otherwise, you've got Jota completely unmarked in this wide area. And to keep the shape and avoid this massive space that's obviously been created between Lindelof and Maguire, Maguire has to come across. And he keeps the shape here. And that means that Shaw has to come across here. So you're maintaining your back four by doing this. Wan-Bissaka, there's just no need to be there whatsoever. Now, by the time the ball gets past Greenwood, because they're not pressing very well at all, because they're not good at it, gets to Jota here, Liverpool are able to get an overload really quickly. Fred and McTominay come across, Salah comes over here, and Liverpool attack in quite a narrow shape. It means that if they lose the ball, there's lots of bodies around each other to win it back in a counter press. It also means that when they attack, there's just bodies nearby and they can go through teams really quickly. Now, what happens is they've got Milner and Jota around the sort of area here, Salah's over here, Keita's going to score, but Robertson makes this really aggressive underlapping run, gets in behind here. Keita just turns up, and by the time the ball goes through United players easily, they're all out of shape, there's no structure whatsoever, ends up with Salah and Keita, scores past De Gea. Really, really easy, far too easy, should never happen. But this is part of the problem. United just don't have any defensive structure whatsoever, and the way they set up was allowing this to happen. It meant that when Wan-Bissaka was trying to press when he shouldn't have done, Greenwood, Fernandes, Ronaldo and Rashford were left up top, behind the play. Fred and McTominay had far too much to do, and Liverpool in a midfield three easily outnumbered the two, but they also had underlapping runs by Robertson, underlapping runs by Alexander-Arnold. They were overloaded in every part of the pitch. It was awful. And so to fix it at half-time, about 4-0 down, Solskjaer made changes, and the changes he made was he put an old reliable Paul Pogba, on he came, old Paul, and off he took Mason Greenwood, who was actually all right. He did okay, apart from not being able to do part of the press, but that's not just his fault. So then you had Rashford and Ronaldo stayed up top. You had Fernandes went into a 10 or a false 9 in a diamond midfield because McTominay, who is not a 6, went to play the 6 role here. And McTominay, what he often does is he stands in positions where you cannot pass to him. If they're trying to build from the back, Lindelof and Maguire will split, McTominay will run round a bit here to try and help, but what will often happen is you'll come too short to a player like Lindelof. There's absolutely no point being here because the ball just has to go back because of the way the other team's going to press you. And so other times what you'll do is you'll run sort of the blind side of the striker. So again, you can't pass because it's too risky. If this guy steps in, they're going to get in here. And Liverpool caught them a couple of times in the high press. They just can't play out this way. Anyway, McTominay, Fred, Pogba in a diamond midfield. It meant Fred could help out with Wan-Bissaka on the right. It meant Pogba could help out on the left. But then very soon after coming on in the second half, Pogba, maybe not awake yet, comes on and does the thing I've seen him do 1,000 times before in this exact area of the pitch. Whether it's because he doesn't have teammates available, like maybe Shaw wasn't quite there to spray it out, or he wasn't aware where his teammates were, or Fernandes wasn't available, or Ronaldo wasn't available, just there's no structure there. Pogba gets caught in possession as he has done 1,000 times, and Liverpool, because they play in and out of possession in quite a narrow shape, have bodies around, easily steal the ball off him and run through to score again. I've seen it happen a million times. Pogba then makes up for his mistake by getting sent off, by being, again, slow to react, as Fernandes in this sort of position here, plays the ball round about to this position here. Pogba stands, watches it from the side, suddenly realises there's a bit of trouble. Keita's over here, runs towards it, and unfortunately Pogba lunges in with 2 feet, injures Keita. Just a dreadful challenge. Terrible decision born about from him not being aware of the situation around him. So there's lots of coaching problems here. Structurally, it's abysmal all over the place, but also the players don't seem to have the mentality. Either they don't know when to trigger a press and when to go together, they leave gaps all over the pitch, no one knows exactly where they're supposed to be and when. You've got different players like McTominay playing this position where he shouldn't really be. That should be Fred's role. He's better at doing that because he can make these little short passes and move in and out. And that was a big problem. And then of course, with 10 men, Solskjaer sent on another striker. He took off Fernandes, he put on Cavani, that makes sense. Rashford went off too, and on came Diogo Dalot, who I don't have on my board, so that's Dalot there. Shaw moved to left centre back, Maguire moved to centre back, Lindelof moved to centre back, and Wan-Bissaka to wing back. That makes sense. But he had McTominay and Fred as like a split midfield, because Cavani played through the middle of it as a box-to-box striker. Never seen it before, but you have now. So tactical innovations from Solskjaer as well, and amongst all the ineptitude. Sounds harsh, but I really think that was about as clear as you'll see that this is not a well-coached team at the moment. And so Cavani came on, did this sort of role here, didn't concede any more goals, so maybe it did actually work quite well. But that's what happened. Liverpool were very good, but Man United left them space all over the pitch, were horribly organised, and just one of the worst performances I think I've seen at Old Trafford from the home side. So well done to Man United. Well done to Liverpool, and we'll see you again next time.
Tifo merch, coming to find what you're looking for. Tifo merch, put it on your body and drink out of it. From the grasslands of Australia to the peaks and plains of Antarctica and through the rivers of North America comes a shop of merch that is so damn cool that it's really cool. So cool you have to buy all the merchandise. Buy the merchandise. Come in and buy all our merchandise. Look it right here, there's merchandise, but your merchandise. Gotta get your hands on the merchandise. Buy the merch.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do enjoy Tifo, then you'll probably also like The Athletic. If you watch our tactics videos, you should go and read Michael Cox. If you're into data, read Tom Warville. And if you're into transfers, it's David Ornstein. Plus, if you're a fan of any Premier League team, then there's a journalist dedicated to you, and you can try it for free for 30 days now by clicking the link in the description.